Hey everybody. Hope you guys cannot hear the baby yelling in the background because his mission is to tarnish my image. He literally only doesn't sleep when I'm about to be on live. Oh, hey girl. How are you, Linda? Put my tunes up a little bit so nobody hears this baby crying. Hey Kim. So you guys know the vibes. It's only 2 y'all on now, so I'm gonna wait for more people to jump on, and then we will get this show on the road. I am exhausted. I am tired, which is why tonight is called How You Feeling, because we need to check in on our strong friends. We need to check in and see what's happening. Where's my mom? She's not on Facebook. And I don't want to keep yawning. Oh, God. Let's go, kitty cat. Oh, hey, Ma. I'm glad you're on time. Ma, did you watch last week's show? I need to send you the YouTube, since you sit on YouTube all day, so you can watch it. All right, we're having a slow start. I've been beat, so I made the flyer literally I think last night. And I don't think I texted on my group chats. The baby is teething, and it's been interesting. I forgot about this teething phase. So we'll wait for some more people to join. Let's give folks a minute or two to get the live notification. And then we will get this show on the road. Get this show on the road. I forgot to put the remind me up on Instagram. I'm slipping. Oh, I missed the beginning last week. Oh, okay. I'll send you the YouTube. Hey, Maya. Maya, how has teething been? Because, whoa. I think I'm like 2 weeks in. And I'm very confused. The way this boy screams is as if someone is killing him. Hey, Sarita girl. Like, he was crying so hard at 1 a.m. I was like, yeah, Maya has 3 kids now, mommy. 2 boys and a girl. I mean, 2 girls and a boy. See, I'm getting dyslexic now that I'm tired. God, we're having a really slow start today. I don't know what's going on, what's going on. Where the people's at? Where the people's at? We'll wait a couple more minutes. Give those gums some rum. I know. He needs something. And then, of course, Phoenix is using the bathroom again. Hey, Mel. Oh, Maya, good. I'm happy to hear teething hasn't been that bad. Yeah, this boy, 1 o'clock in the morning, he was just screaming. Didn't want his bottle. I'm like, okay, it's the teeth. I gave him gel. He got an attitude. But this morning he was screaming, and I gave him Chrissy the Diva. Hi, Shelly. Keisha Keish on the live. This morning I gave him some Motrin. I had enough. I was like, you're going to have some Motrin because I can't do it. But now he's screaming. Why does he do this when I go on live? Like, he didn't do this. Oh, no, he did do it last night. I had to go to Phoenix room to calm him down. Like, for him to listen to her. She's over the white noise, so she listens to another kind of noise. Anyway, my co-host has now joined. Cornell, who's a licensed clinical therapist. So we're going to get started soon. Let's literally wait like 1 more minute, and then we will start. Maddie speaks. Hey. Oh God, the screaming really kills me. It's like, oh my, I didn't even put lotion on. All my heartstrings are being pulled right now. It's taking everything in me to stay on this live and not go save my son. Or really save the daddy. Okay, let's get started. Because we ain't got all night, and I would love to go to sleep on time. I went to sleep last night at 10 p.m. and talk about a blessing. Hello. I never go to sleep that early. Like, probably when I was pregnant, that was about it. Anyway, 2 weeks ago, we discussed our word of the year. I had purpose and passion. If you did not choose your word of the year or you missed last week, choose a word that you want to be your guide for the next 365 days. Well, 365 minus 14 is 351. Oh, mathematician, here I go. Wait, I said 16 days or 14 days? Can't even remember. That's how fast time is flying. Because today's definitely the 16th. Choose a word that's going to push you this year, a word that's going to just be your word. Some people, like last time, they chose like fruition, seeing their dreams come to fruition. I chose purpose and passion. We had alignment. We had romanticize. If your word needs to be boundaries, get to setting them. You know what I mean? Choose your word. Before we got off last week, I didn't get a chance to discuss journaling. Really putting pen to paper and seeing what happens. A lot of the greats say, oh yeah, I wrote in my journal. The last time I wrote in my journal was when I had the baby. So after we got off last week, 2 weeks ago, I went in the journal again just to update the journal of my life, because in my mind, I'm leaving these journals behind for my kids, but specifically my daughter. So she sees like mommy went through all the dating issues, and mommy went through this, mommy went through that, and daddy almost got cut. Just so that she knows, like, I'm human just like her. It's like, it took me a while to accept that my mom was not always my mom, because I've only known her to be my mother. But when you get older, you're like, wow, like she's actually a woman. She was actually a young woman at one point. And lived her life like prior to knowing me. And I want Phoenix to see that side of me as well. Like, outside of being your mother, like I'm still a woman with dreams, with goals, etc., etc. So anyway, back to journaling. So in my journal, I wrote like what has happened in the last 5 months since I had the baby. And just like, how I'm feeling and life changes and all the ups and downs. So I was listening to a podcast recently, and they had mentioned journaling, how people do it, some people don't. And some people were asking like, hey, how do I journal? Like, what's the best way? And the woman explained, don't open your journal and start writing, dear future me, tomorrow you're going to see that things will get better. No, just be like, when I'm angry, I will open it and just write like annoyed, like can't stand this. Like, you can do bullet points. You can write what's happening, write how you feel, or write, yo, I'm so angry, I don't even know why I feel this way. Release it somewhere. Especially for those people who are like, don't like to open up to other people, or maybe don't have a safe circle, or even if you do have a safe circle, right? Everything ain't for everybody. Like, some emotions you want to have between you and the paper, that's the best thing to do. Another person was saying like they feel so uncomfortable writing in a journal, and the woman mentioned like that means that you don't even know how to sit with yourself. Like, you're not even into yourself. Then she proceeded to ask like, are you single or in a relationship? And the girl was like, oh, I'm single. So then 1 + 1 started equaling 2. Like, if you don't even want to be with you, why would a man or a woman want to be with you? Let's clear the foundation. Play a song, disconnect from your phone, like just get into yourself this year. Make that a priority. Anyway, the point of tonight is how you feeling, right? Let's get into how we're feeling. We don't always check on our strong friends. We don't always check on our weak friends. And this week, I just been like checking on my friends because I've been feeling overwhelmed. And I'm like, damn, I haven't spoken to my friends, and I haven't spoken. Like, let me just text them and say like, how are you? And my one friend is like, yo, I'm overwhelmed. Like, I'm trying to stay afloat. My other friend is like, hey, I'm cool. Then my other friends are like, yo, I'm overwhelmed. That everyone starts writing, they're overwhelmed. Excuse me. And these are people with children. These are people without children. I don't know what is happening in the atmosphere, but the overwhelmness, like, is Mercury in retrograde or something? Something is happening. I don't know what it is. I don't like it because I too am overwhelmed. I just feel like I have an endless to-do list, and it just keeps on to doing. And one of my girlfriends mentioned today, she's like, I have an endless to-do list, and it actually feels paralyzing to even go to the next task. And her saying, like, it feels paralyzing, like, resonated with me so much because, yes, like, I'll give you an example. I have to buy Maverick's baptism outfit, and last time we were talking, I was telling you guys that my breast milk has been getting really low, so now I'm supplementing with formula. So I'm doing half formula, half breast milk, whatever. Anyway, the point is that I need a formula dispenser now, so I put those things in my Amazon cart, but I haven't purchased them. Well, today I did, but at the time I hadn't purchased them. Why? I just didn't feel like clicking send because I'm like, I know there's something else I'm gonna need, and I'd rather place all the purchases at once instead of having to keep coming back. But then it sat there for like a week. So today I was like, hey, you have Amazon Prime, girl. You can just add the order later. Then guess what, guys? An hour later, I realized what I needed, and I just added it to the order, and I clicked that they will all be here on Saturday. Sometimes it just feels so annoying to do, and then once you do it, it's 1, 2, 3. How are you guys feeling in the chat? It's 9 of us here. Let's. This is an intimate situation tonight. Oh, 10. My mom is on Facebook. How are you guys feeling? Are you guys feeling overwhelmed? My one friend said that she needed to take a minute, like, to just sit, and she just laid on her couch, like, with no TV, no music, no nothing. That was me last night. Like, I just got into bed. Like, I originally I planned on getting in bed to watch Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and then it said 10:09. I made the flyer for tonight, and I just closed my eyes. I was like, God, you got it, because I can't even keep my eyes open for another second. Hey, Latricia. Hey, Pam. Hey, Myron. Hey, Drew. So how are you guys feeling? I feel like you guys are being a little shy. Nobody's in the comments. Tonight, I'm definitely going to ask Cornell about seasonal depression. One of my friends mentioned, like, just like the feelings from December traveling to January. I never knew that seasonal depression was a thing until someone at my office mentioned it. Hey, Crystal. I work with nurses and social workers, and I was telling her, I was like, I hate the winter. Like, it just gets dark so early. It makes me feel this. It makes me feel that. And she was like, oh, yeah, like, people suffer from seasonal depression. And I was like, that's a real thing? And she was like, yeah, that's like a real thing. So we're just getting out of the holidays. So I don't know if, like, maybe I'm pretty sure I've always been feeling overwhelmed. But being off of the high from the holidays and now crashing to nothingness, and still being completely busy. Like, my weekends are just busy. Like, I need to have a non-busy weekend, but also I don't know how to sit still. So it's me versus me right now. And all the people who are who are planning the events. But yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. So if you just joined, I was just asking you guys, how are you feeling? I see folks are being shy in the chat tonight. I know it's giving intimate, but let's not give quiet. Like, let's not take it too far, because I need y'all. I need to feed off of y'all for the energy. Yes, it's some very trying times. Emotions are all over. I just sleep it off, read and pray. I literally, Pam, have been trying to do the same thing, like, get more into prayer. I always wake up and pray. Like, I say a quick prayer, but like, my friend Alize mentioned the other day, like, she wants to listen to more podcasts that are faith-based, and I'm like, send them to me. Like, send me the good ones, because now some of them I just can't connect with. I'm Catholic. I go to a Catholic church, and I was consistently going every Sunday, and I think since I had the baby, I probably went like twice. The priest is not giving what he's supposed to give. Catholic church was never really giving what it was supposed to give, but I love going there and just being in my own prayer, being in my own world. But I need some connection. I need some words. I need some push. I'm trying to slow down because I move too fast sometimes. And slowing down has been grounding. 100%. Slowing down definitely can be grounding, because you're sitting in a spot and you're like, what's happening? I was telling my friend that I'm actually overstimulated, and in my overstimulation, I have moments where I feel like my body is moving, but my spirit is standing still and is looking around like, what is going on? Like, everybody's moving around me. My to-do list is spinning in my brain, but like my soul is standing still. Does that make sense? Like, it's like when people say, like, when people who are depressed say, like, I feel like I'm like the only person in the room. Like, I don't feel depressed or anything like that. I just feel like I need to slow down. Like, I need to chill. I'm exhausted, overstimulated as of late, need a vacation soon or a weekend alone. I have a vacation coming up in March. I've never wanted March to get here so fast. And I'm like, I need to find small pockets of a vacation, right? So, like, I wish it was warmer so that Justin could just take both the kids to the park and I could just lay down. Like, but now we've been trying to, like, make sure we take Phoenix out for her one-on-one time and keep the baby in the house. There's too much bugs and germs. But being with him all the time is like, he cool and all, but he's also a little version of stress. I was stressed and anxious this morning. I laid down, lights off, and slept. I also prayed because, like, this is not right. Like, how is it this complicated out here? I feel like our parents weren't. I wonder what, I'm sure our parents experience stress, but we also have too much access to too much things. It's literally information overload. I knew that I was overwhelmed. I was with my best friend today. I knew I was overwhelmed when I realized I didn't watch the news this whole week. I have not watched the news. Kathleen Crawford. I watch the news 3 times a day. I can't even process the news. I can't take one more thing on my list. I can't take one more tragedy. I can't take another sadness. The LA fires got me jacked up, because do you know that they still have to pay their mortgages even though their houses are burned to the ground? And if they don't pay, then their houses will be foreclosed. A foreclosure goes in your credit. That then sits there for 7 years. America, what is good? Like, what's good with y'all? How does that make sense? Yes, anxiousness. Even today, like, I was telling myself, breathe. Like, I saw the clock ticking. I'm like, I didn't eat. I didn't remove my notes, because when I plan for the show, I use my cell phone as a guide, because I'm always on my phone. So, like, when an idea comes up, I pop it in there, and then the day of, I usually put it on paper to sort it. And I just felt myself, like, getting anxious. I'm like, okay, I need to, like, I always brush my teeth, as if you guys can smell my breath, but it just makes me feel better. I put a little tiny makeup on the eyes. I give a little cheek, give a little under eye, because it's giving no sleep and puffy. But I'm definitely not putting foundation on. Like, we're taking it too far. But the skin has been skinning, apparently. And then I had just washed my hair. So I'm like, she's a wash and go, because I'm not doing nothing. But let me just make sure I zhuzh her up. But just feeling anxious, like wanting to be on time, and I sat here 5 minutes early, and then those feelings disappear. So we're going to ask Quinell, how do we work through anxiousness? Our daily bread is really good. Is that faith? Or you mean like what do you mean by our daily bread? Let me know. I feel like I'm watching life happen, not really living, and I want to change that. Yes, I want you to change that too. I want you to live. Like, we are so young. We are blessed. I mean, people have a lot of shit going on. Some people can't pay bills. They don't have a roof over their head. And I know I really hate when people do that, when you say, yo, I'm going through some tough shit. But I kind of use that as the anchor. Like, when I'm first getting sad, like it could be worse. And I'm so glad it's not. But also, like, I'm actually sad. Like, also, I'm like, honor your feelings. But then we cannot trust our feelings all the time. Like, our feelings will literally pull us down. When I had the baby, I had called the lactation nurse or whatever, and she was just giving me tips. And then one thing she said was, like, you know, the baby spends the first 2 weeks of their life trying to kill themselves. Like, not purposely, but they just they just don't know. You know what I mean? And we don't want to be a baby. We have way more information. We know to pick our head up if we're drowning or suffocating. Pull through. I'm definitely creeping up. Oops, what did I do? Oh, Lord. Okay, I didn't mean to click effects. I'm definitely creeping up on burnout right now. Time to use some PTO. Use your PTO. Use your PTO. This guy who works on my team, he logged in the other day and everybody was writing him and they were like, hey, happy birthday. So I was like, happy birthday. Then I said, who works on their birthday? So then I wrote him on the side on Teams and I was like, hey, is it your birthday for real? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, why are you working? And he writes, hey, I'm the new guy. I didn't want to ask you for a time off. I said, is your work completed for tomorrow? He said, yes. I said, goodbye. Have a good day. Have a good day. Like, I'm never working on my birthday. Secondly, he's such a good worker, and his work was done for the next day. What are you here for? Enjoy your life. Like, I'm that boss. If you do your work, we have no issues. I'm not micromanaging. Like, bye. I was like, bye. Today we did like a one-on-one evaluation, and he's like, yo, that meant so much to me. And I'm like, you have a life. Like, go live your life. Who wants to be at work on their birthday? People cursing them out on the phones. I second that. PTO time is good. The news is too much. I'm looking forward to the spring. I'm over the winter. It's something about the spring that makes me feel ambitious and excited for what's to come. Yes, poom poom shorts and a good fine wine. That's what you want to do. Hey, Allie. Ghetto, that's crazy. Paying mortgages on ashes. Completely. I'm obsessed with the trial in Detroit and it's triggered me so much. Wait, what trial in Detroit? Okay, y'all about to have me turn this into hot topics. Because what? I've been annoyed and overwhelmed, but since my word is faith, I've been self-isolating and cutting off the noise. Yes, cut off the noise. Like, we got to get closer to God, or if you don't believe in God, get closer with your higher source. If you don't have a higher source, you got a problem. I'm sorry. I can't help you. You have to believe that there's something bigger than us. And if you don't, I would love to introduce you to Google, and it can connect you with a higher source of your choice. Yeah, like, I didn't want him to work. Like, bye. Peace out. Anyway, how do you guys feel about change? When you're presented with change, how do you guys feel? Do you guys navigate through the change, or do you guys resist? Since we're checking on everybody's feelings, I want to like just get more in depth with you guys. Like, outside of how you feeling, in order to get out of these feelings, right? We have to change something in our lives. Change us. We can only change us on how we react, right? You can only change yourself. How do you guys feel about change? It depends. When it comes to work, I'll be resistant to the change because y'all not about to make me do mad work and y'all still paying me this. Also, it's comfortable not to change, right? You're in a comfort zone, which is terrible. So now I've been complete opposite of like not wanting to be resistant, kind of wanting to navigate, go with the flow. That's one thing that I learned with Justin. I used to be a stickler. Justin used to tell me, oh, we're going to the movies. And I used to be like, okay, when we get there, do you want to sit in the front or the back? And he's like, huh? Like, girl, the movie is like next week. Why are we talking about the front or the back? Sorry, guys. Because then there's my nephew. That 2-piece eats. My mom says change causes fear of the unknown. Yes. Dang, I read something the other day and it was like, fear hurts or helps, right? Fear is either going to keep you where you at, where that's going to keep you stagnant. No. You have fear of what you don't see, and you can't see what's going to happen if you stay stagnant or if you move forward. Whatever. You guys get what I'm saying. I don't want to be stuck and not being stuck and being resistant. I want to be able to navigate through change. So my husband does not like to follow like I'm like this, and he's like, hey, this is not working, let's do this, and this. It took me literally like maybe 3 years to learn how to go with the flow, because I wasn't a flowy person. I need an itinerary. What's happening here? Change brings anxiety. Correct. Like right now, we tell my mom, hey, we're oh yes, Alize, thank you. You can pick fear or faith, but both are unknown. Was that Sarah Jakes Roberts who gave us that little tidbit? Change brings anxiety, 100%. So I get anxious when we tell my mom, hey, we're about to go out for a movie, then we're coming back. Then, so my mind, we're going to be going for 3 hours. Because even though she's not tripping, I'm just cognizant of, like, my kids are annoying, right? The big one, she's crazy. She's on 100 at all times. The little one, he's moody. He's very moody. So, okay, we saw it on IG. He's moody, so I don't want them to drive her crazy. Like, I need her to keep coming back, so I want to get back. But then Justin will be like, hey, you want to get some margaritas really quick? And that actually sounds great. But the whole time, I'm like this on it. Like, he can't see it, but on the inside, I'm like, I just want to go home. But I want to get some margaritas. I just want to go home. So now I'm at my mom, like, hey, is everything okay? Like, do you mind if we go one more place? And then she's like, yeah, go ahead. Like, just go. Or she's like, yeah, your kids are driving me crazy, but fine. It's like, depending on her response, that would ease my anxiousness. But it's like, you changed the plan, bro. Like, the plan was to go straight home. Now we're getting drinks. Like, can we get the drink to go? Like, yes, change brings anxiety. Speaking of change, it seems that Jim Jones has not accepted that Cameron is not who he thought he was. We're going to bring a little hot topic. We're going to swing a little hot topic in here really quick. Again, if you're just joining us tonight, we're talking about how you feeling. I want to know how you guys are feeling, how we're navigating through our feelings. And we have our special guest, Quinell Hickman, who is a CEO and founder of Counseling to Comfort. She's a licensed therapist. So I'm going to tap her in very shortly. But let me just throw this little tidbit in really quick. So we're speaking about change and people not accepting change. Have you guys ever loved somebody and watched them change and be like, whoa? I have, right? I have. Cameron is dealing with, Jim Jones is dealing with not being able to accept that Cameron is just not a nice person. Like, he's just mean. Okay, wait, I got some more answers coming in, so let me go back. The constant mental state of fight or flight is so stressful. Woo! Kimmy says, I feel amazing. I've learned to let things go and not allow it to cloud my mind. Isn't growth so beautiful? Like, when you realize what was important versus what's not, like what matters, like, and you're like, yo, it's not that deep. Like, I can actually just be free. Cam and the C stands for corny. So if you guys don't know what's happening, a long story short is that back in the day, Cameron and Jim Jones and Juelz fell out. During this time, Cameron was beefing with 50 Cent. 50 Cent has a concert and invites Jim Jones and Juelz on stage. Now, let's go back. If me and my best friends fall out today, I'm not getting on stage with any of their ops, because at the end of the day, you are my friend. I loved you. I respected you. I'm not about to get on stage with somebody who I know doesn't wish well for you. Even though they say, a friend of mine, no, an enemy, an enemy of my friend is an enemy of mine. You guys know what I'm trying to say. I'm not doing it. So Jim Jones was dead wrong for that. Like, don't get on stage with the ops. Like, that's crazy. That was years ago. They then moved on. They then did the verses where they lost to the Locks. That was crazy. And then after that, they had like a little falling out again from that. So they're not really on the same page. But when It Is What It Is started, which is a podcast and show that Cameron and Mace have together where they discuss like sports. Oh, yes. The enemy of my enemy is a friend of mine. Hello. Thank you, Ellie. Baby brain and fatigue. They busting me up over here. They rekindled when It Is What It Is came out. Jim Jones had expressed that he didn't like Mace. Like, Mace did Cam dirty back in the day. So long story short, Mace is from Harlem. Cam is from Harlem. Mace got on first. kind of pulled Kim under his wing, but didn't help Kim like he said he would. But come to find out, what Mase is saying is like, I was an artist. I didn't have the pull to do what you needed me to do. And I didn't have the maturity to verbalize that, to let you know. And Kim said the same thing. Like, I was so angry at you for not putting me on, not realizing like you were trying to get your own ducks in a row. What we know now about the music industry, we didn't know then, right? I say all of that to say that Justin LaBoy, respectfully Justin on Instagram, is now a podcaster, and in his podcast he asked Jim Jones, how do you feel about Kim and Mase? I know you don't really care for Mase. And Jim Jones 8,000 times literally said, I don't want to talk about it, it's cool, love is love, I love everybody, I respect it. But he kept pushing, and people have triggers. The same way Sean was triggered by Diddy recently and just had to get things off his chest. People are triggered. So Jim Jones was triggered and said, why these niggas won't get off my dick. Now, anyone who knows men, no, you don't invite one man to another man's penis. That's automatic disrespect. It's fighting. It's whatever. So Jimmy just explains like, yo, I'm Kim's real friend. Like, I ride or die for him. I'm always gang. Like, I pull up for him. I don't want to see nobody do him dirty. I don't want to see this. I don't want to see that. So I don't respect it. I don't respect, this is who Mase is. This is Mase's character. You know, all of the ups and the downs. Cameron, of course, now Monday comes in jewelry and a fur coat. Mase has popcorn. I mean, it was entertaining. But Cameron just starts disrespecting Jim Jones. Like why? Like, why are you, I mean, too much. Jim Jones is the winner in this. And I hope he doesn't respond, because they say that you never respond to a fool, because from afar, the crowd doesn't know who is who. Like, if you're arguing with a fool, like, they're not going to know who is who. Don't even respond to them. Let people look crazy. Not Cam needs to worry about the chiclets in his mouth. Cam is so immature. He's like a 17-year-old boy in a grown man's body. It's so weird. But we need to pray for Jim Jones, that he accepts that Cameron is shiesty. Cameron is him against the world. And anyway, how the beef wound up rekindling is because 50 Cent and Cameron were talking, and Cameron asked 50, why would you call my mans on stage when you know me and you were beefing? Like, that was a power move. And 50, joined in. It's a mess. Either way, if you were my friend for life, if you were my friend at one point and we had a falling out, our secrets are our secrets, our things are our things. We can discuss maybe the falling out, but it ain't for everybody. That's corny. Okay. I'll ask another question really quick to check in on everybody, and then we're gonna tap Quinell in. How do you lift your spirits when you're down? What are some things that you guys do to lift your spirits when you're feeling down? And I want to make this an open forum, because we don't all have the tools, right? Sometimes you may hear somebody say something and you're like, oh, actually, that's what I need. Like when my homegirl said that she wants to listen to more faith-based podcasts, like get closer with God. I was like, wow. I said I was going to get closer with God, especially after this summer when I have been walking the track and praying, and every morning I'm like, praying, especially now that I have kids. I feel more anxious and more afraid of the world, so I'm constantly like trying to pray for like the smallest things, or just God, I'm so grateful so that he doesn't take these things from me. But so what are some things that you do to lift your spirits up, like when you're feeling down? So like me feeling anxious or feeling just overstimulated, what would I do? Well, yesterday I went to sleep. That helped me calm my nervous system down. Mommy, that's not how you use the word. The word is for you. My mom says, my word for the week is stunned. That's how I feel this week, because people in my life, people's behaviors that I know, with their sneaky intentions. But my mom is writing in backwards English, and I'm trying to translate as I read. But basically she's saying her word of the week is stunned, because she's stunned at how people in her life are moving, and they got the right one. You heard? Big Solange, not the little one. But what do you guys do when you're not feeling like yourself? Yo, Yodi, what is going on? Why are you on live right now? Hey, Vanita. Lifting my spirit has been a bit different for me. I've been reading the Bible more now, and I go out more, and I get dressed up. Yes, I'm here for the getting dressed up. I'm doing the opposite. I'm dressed down. If you guys see me Monday through Friday when I'm doing drop off and pick up, I hope that he blew the candle out and not that the house is on fire. But I'm not getting up, so we're going to wait and see. It gives he blew the candle out? I can't even yell and I'm not getting up. So, YOLO. Babe. He blew the candle out. Anyway, if you see me Monday through Friday getting dressed, not being dressed, it's because I don't have the energy. I don't want to get up. I don't want to get dressed. I want to take my kid to school and I want to come back. And I want to be comfortable. I'm in sweats. I was thinking this morning, I'm like, dang, these moms probably like, yo, this girl's in sweats and these Balenciaga sneakers every single day. So just for them, I switched up my sneakers today. But I was still in sweats. I want to be comfortable. Sometimes dressing up is too much, but Kamisha's crazy. This girl was on Instagram, and she was in a full fur coat, glasses, and makeup, and she said, I'm going grocery shopping. For 2025, I'm not letting none of my clothes go to waste, and I felt that for her. I go for a walk in nature. Tell them it's a uniform. They probably like, people at Feeding School might think I might work at the gym. Because I stay in a workout piece. I'm like, enough is enough. Hey Kim. Okay, really quick before I tap Quinell in to get us together. Did you guys hear this? Wait. I'm sorry, I have to go back. Wait, babe, did you blow the candle out or is the house on fire? Please write in the comments below. Before I move on from that, let's go back. I was asking how do you guys lift your spirits because what I was getting to was that, did you guys hear Wendy Williams on the radio this morning? She was on live with Charlamagne at 7 a.m. just talking about her conservatorship. And I'm very confused how that's still legal. Like, how does that work? How is it legal for someone to be taking over everything, your money, your life? They basically have her in a upscale jail. They have her locked up in a room. She cannot leave the floor she's on without a key, without a keypad, which obviously she doesn't have access to. They don't allow her to get fresh air daily. They don't allow her to go outside. She doesn't have a phone. She doesn't have a phone book. She has a phone. She doesn't have a phone book. So she has no phone numbers unless she's memorized them. Yo, let me tell you right now. I know by heart 3 phone numbers. Okay, not including mine. I know my mom's phone number, my brother's phone number, and my husband's phone number. And I learned my husband's phone number because I made that the code to our Wi-Fi so that I could purposely try to learn it. I know nobody else's phone number. Could you imagine only having 3 numbers in your memory? Anyway, so Wendy was talking about, to lift her spirits. Like, she listens to the radio. Like, she's trapped. Let's pray for Wendy. We need to uplift Wendy's spirits. Anyway, in the next gossip that I wanted to get into, because this is breaking my spirit. Did you guys hear that Obama and Michelle might be splitting up? Because first, Shelly didn't show up to... Oh, he blew out the candle. Whew. First, Shelly didn't show up to Jimmy Carter's funeral, which I was okay with because, like, I can't come to every event with you. Like, you was born by yourself and hopefully you die by yourself. You'll be all right. And then she said she's not coming to President Trump's inauguration. Also, not mad at her for that because who want to be around that bozo? But apparently, this is rumor that, her not showing up to these events are just because she's wrapping it up with Barack. Supposedly, he was creeping with Jennifer Aniston. I don't even want to repeat these lies because that's going to break my soul. And there's no Beyonce song that would repair that for me. So let's pray for Obama and Shell. Okay? Michelle. My girl Shelly. Wait. One more thing. what's going on with Drake? How do we feel about Drake? What is Drake doing to your mental this week? Have you ever been Drake? Have you ever been that person who was winning, constantly winning, and then when you didn't win, you became a sore loser? Let's not be Drake. Let's not be sore losers, guys. Let's not sue. Is that Phoenix again? Let's not sue our record labels for defamation when ultimately the story of Drake is don't bite the hand that feeds you, right? Imagine that your mother feeds you every day and the one day she doesn't feed you, now you hate her guts. What are we talking about here? Everybody gotta get a turn. Anyway, I'm going to tap in Quinnell because today we're talking about how we're feeling. And I want you guys to use the opportunity as free therapy. Let's tap in Quinnell. Comment on. If you're on Facebook, you won't be able to see Quinnell, but you'll definitely be able to hear her. Here we go. Ooh, my girl got the blowouts. Okay.
Hi, everybody.
Now you trying to stunt on me with my wig, honey, and that natural hair.
Hey, y'all. Hey.
Quinnell is on. So for those who don't know Quinnell, can you introduce yourself briefly? Let people know who you are.
Yes, hello. My name is Quinnell Hickman. I am a licensed therapist. I help the singles really figure out what they want so people can stop playing with them. I help the couples really get close and intimate, connected, help out with their communication. And from time to time, I will speak to some Fortune 500 companies just to talk about employee wealth so that y'all can stay there.
Listen.
Employee health as well.
Health, yeah.
Maybe somebody trying to tell me something. Maybe I ain't talking about wealth, but just how to get your employees to stay. So if your company needs help with that, tell them.
I like Quinnell. I need, I need to find out at my job who does that because I would love for them to hire you because, baby, they're trying to get their money's worth out of me this week, boy.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn,
that job is a lot.
I'm like a rag and they're squeezing me, honey. They get their money's worth. Well, now, let's go back. I have mentioned something about seasonal depression, and a lot of people don't know about that. We had a chat in our close girlfriends group chat, just about like you, I'm gonna say therapizing, but I cannot be making up words here. You having therapy sessions during the holidays, and people going through seasonal depression. So I use it lightly because I don't suffer from depression, but people actually do. Can you explain to us what is seasonal depression for those who don't know how real it is?
Yeah, no, it's serious. Like, it's a real thing. I was looking in the comments and I think somebody said that right now they hate the winter, they're looking forward to the spring. Yeah. And, when you think about it, we're not really getting as much sun as we do in the summertime, right? So vitamin D really makes us feel happy and it helps us feel energized. And so we're not getting that much. So when it's gray outside, just imagine your feelings are actually becoming gray and you feel blah.
Yeah.
And, there's a mild depression, then there's depression, and then there's seasonal depression. So you can experience not having motivation during the winter. You could experience feeling sad when it's gray outside. Yeah. And there's also something about the snow and it being cold and you just wanted to be under the covers and not really go outside, or you're always hunched up, so that's a lot of tension. Yeah. And it's cold outside, right?
It's cold in here because my landlord, he playing with the heat today, honey.
You know what? But honestly, we would rather it be cold than it be something else, because somebody else was talking about the news and all these fires. It's a lot.
That's so
it's a lot. And unfortunately, the space heaters, it's cold, and those, you're running them all night. Yeah. The ovens are on.
And the ovens are on. We have to pray for the Bronx. Seriously, they have so many janky landlords. You guys see, like, the buildings were falling apart.
Correct.
But there's been so many fires in the Bronx because there's no heat.
Correct.
And somebody called in on the radio this morning and said that when they call the inspector, the landlord will put the heat on for like a week. So the landlord must have ears in the inspector's office, will put it on for a week, but then they'll turn it off. So either the landlords, they want to push the tenants out because they want to raise the rent, gentrification, different people are moving in. or the landlords don't want to fix the boiler. Every year, my building is fixing the boiler. I need to understand.
Like,
I've been
why
here
is the
for
boiler
3,
broken so
I've
much
been
in
here
real
for
life?
3 years. When
Are
we
you
got here, they said,
lying?
you got a new boiler. Now, every year, I'm like, are y'all changing the water on the boiler? Like, I lived in a house. I know how the boiler works. Are y'all changing the water and clearing it out? Make it make sense.
It's all these
And
things, but also, like, if you're depressed, one of the things that can help you feel better is if you help someone else. So with the fires, if you live in the Bronx or around, or there also was something in Brooklyn, I think yesterday there was a fire in
wow.
Brooklyn. So, you know, if you want to take, I know in the Bronx there are city council people who are, like, the offices are accepting donations, and so if
Yeah.
you want to bring those over there to lift somebody's spirits, lift your spirits, you know,
Yeah.
that could be a thing. And
Yeah.
I
If you
know
live
it's
in New York, let's help locally. We
not
want to help people in LA, but let's help our people locally, because you know the Bronx is already, they don't need
child.
no more tragedy, honey. And Quinelle is reporting live from the Bronx right now, so let's pray for her.
Luckily, my landlord is a good landlord, so my
Good,
it's
good,
really booming. Shout out to
good.
my landlord. But
Speaking of seasonal depression, my brother mentioned he like broke every Christmas. And
you
that's one
mentioned
thing
what?
my brother mentioned, like being broke every Christmas, like
Oh
around Christmas
yeah.
time, and
Mm-hmm.
how that, like, you know, that obviously can bring sadness. I was explaining to Justin, who's my husband, for those who don't know, he's really big into Christmas, and I'm big into getting the tree. I don't always think about things have to go under because no.
I'm a decorate, and then I don't know about y'all. I don't know how y'all gonna
Because
feel
my
with
mom always decorated but didn't have enough money to buy us gifts, right? So she just taught
it.
us to be grateful for the season. So it's not that I don't want to, but there's something till this day and Christmas that, I don't know if trigger is the right word.
It's habit, right? It's whatever's familiar to
Yeah,
you
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah, yeah.
not even intentional, but it's like, okay, well, this is what I focus on.
But when I buy gifts, I'm not always happy about it though. Like I
Of
have
course,
like
you
a
have to
little
spend your
attitude.
money.
That
First of all, I'm not even joking on y'all. I'm not joking on her.
no,
Just
no,
so
no, no.
y'all know,
I know what you mean. I
I
know
am
what you mean.
also cheap, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah,
and I've changed it to frugal because I just yeah.
yeah.
love,
Uh
how
huh.
creative that sounds. But yeah, Christmas, you have to spend money and then you have to re-up. And,
Yeah.
like when you think about a lot of people, you think about bringing in the new year, you think about hope and you think about, what you want this year to be. But being realistic, you could have a humdrum year
Yeah.
or a humdrum month with the holidays and, you being around family and you think about family. Sometimes family is nice for a moment, but then
Yeah.
when you have to keep repeatedly seeing them, it's like, God, like I really don't feel like doing this with them. So you think
Literally.
about you're spending your money. Now you're spending more time around people that you might not like, hearing people's mouths, asking you questions, reminding you about things that you tried to put in the back of your head, like when you
Yeah.
get married, what's wrong with your relationship, like all these things, right? And so we think that magically when the clock strikes 12 on January 1st that we're not going to feel these things, but they still carry over, right?
Yeah.
And so we have to be really intentional about doing things that are going to bring up your spirits. And I think, for me, I like to throw in things that are a little bit different because I know a lot of us are like, okay, we're going to go get massages and we're going to get our nails done and our hair done. We're going to get our hair cuts. Our outfit is we about to get these fits
Yeah.
off, right? Like all these things that we think are going to make us feel good. And I am not a fan of them because
Uh-huh.
they cost more money. Like they're not
It's
sustainable
not
if,
sustainable.
right? So, if it's costing you money and money is not necessarily the source of your happiness at the moment,
Yeah.
or you're doing something that feels good right now, like spending it on
Yeah.
yourself, and then like a week from now, a month from now, 2 months from now, that's not gonna put you in a good space mentally, then we got to switch some stuff up, right?
Got it.
So I know you were asking people, what do they do, for a pick me up. I love somebody said they go for a nature walk.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Nandy, I think that was you. Hey, boo, hey. Going for a nature walk, sitting in silence, doing things like watching television or music. I like to talk to people about watching television shows that are nostalgic. They're going to put you in a good mood because
Love it,
something
hip
about,
hop.
right? I said nostalgic. So unless you're
The
watching Love and Hip Hop
throwback
back from,
episodes with
right,
Jimmy and
back
Chrissy.
in the day when Chrissy beat up, who did Chrissy beat up?
um,
She beat up,
Samara Lee,
yeah,
Samara.
unless you're watching those episodes. And speaking of Jim Jones, right, he was on there too, right? Unless you're watching those episodes, That's not the same, but you know, sometimes the childhood things like Fresh Prince, any of the 90s things, or if cartoons were your thing, a lot of times like we're joking on people that watch cartoons, but like that's part of what's happening, right? It's things that make you happy. And maybe you can do a playlist, a music playlist for each of your moods, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're feeling calm, then cool. Play your calm, collected playlist. But if you need a pick me up, then whatever it is that you need to do. I'm a fan of Glorilla. I like to do what needs to be
what
done.
What you know about me?
Correct. Right.
I love that part.
Right. So whatever you need to do that is going to accommodate where you need to be, those are some really good ideas for you.
What advice do you have for people who I'm sorry, did we finish the seasonal depression? People who are trying to get out of that seasonal depression, like outside of those things, are there any things they could tell themselves to get out of those moods?
Yes. So this, you know, unfortunately is one of those things that you have to repeat it, right? It's not like you do something one time and then that's it. So there are a couple things that I like to tell people to do. So it's not just affirmations are really nice and they're beautiful, but I like to tell people to do things that prove evidence for the affirmation, right? So not just like, oh, I'm a good person. What's the evidence that you're a good person, right? Right? I'm beautiful. Yes, you are. But what's the evidence? What part of you do you like the most, right? Or, you know, I am a go-getter. I just think about Juvenile because I'm a 90s R&B person, right? You a paper chaser. You got your block on fire, right? So if you're going to do those affirmations that are going around Instagram and TikTok, then really present yourself with things that are evidence for the fact that you are going out and you do this, but this is just an experience that you're having, right? So like if we don't pay or give too much power to the word depression or anxiety, it's just an experience, right? Just right now, I'm experiencing feeling a little bit sad, and that's okay, because you know what? I'm still going to go out here and get this money the way I did last week or last year. I'm still going to get things that I need to accomplish. Right now, I'm just experiencing this, and, you know, it doesn't have to be an end-all, be-all because you're experiencing something in the moment, like a sadness or being overwhelmed or stressed.
So what do you suggest for people who are feeling depressed even outside of the holidays and don't want to seek a therapist? How do they manage that?
Yeah, so, you know, therapy is really not for everybody, and I know I'm a therapist, but I only like to see people that I'm aligned with. That means you want to be here, right? You want to talk and you want to do things that are going to help you out. So if you don't want to see a therapist, you're not ready, I would say to do the things that we've been talking about. Like music really, really is one of those things that keep people upbeat. They keep people thinking, right? But from a relaxed and a reflective state. So, you know, some of the lo-fi, I think those are beats that you can just play and you think. I'm a strong advocate for mindfulness, and that's just really slowing down to pay attention to what's going on within you and what's going on outside of you. So for a realistic example, every time we see something, we have a thought about it, and that thought comes with an emotion. That emotion shows up in our body somewhere.
Baby.
So your goal is to figure out what is going on. What am I looking at? What am I thinking about it? Do I have an attitude about it? Is it making me sad, anxious, worried, whatever it is? And where am I feeling that in my body? Because let's say I'm sad, I'm anxious, I'm stressed, and I feel some tension in my shoulders, right?
Yeah.
Then that means I might want to stretch. I might want to go for the walk because I need to do something that's going to just get this energy out of my body. So just focus on like what's happening with you and what you need in the moment. I want to get into the comment because I've seen
a few too.
Oh, hey, Dr. Busby. Hey, girl. So Dr. Busby said, I love a good book on Audible, a good podcast, and a schedule to catch up with calls with friends. That is a great one, right? Some of the books can also be motivating.
Yeah.
The podcast can also be motivating. You know, sometimes we know what to do inherently, but sometimes we need a push or a motivator or a reminder, right? So your friends can also be part of your get well journey. A therapist can be as well, but you know, the therapist you only see one time out of your week.
Yeah.
Unless unless they deem that you need to see them twice or more, right? But you still have to do
Right.
the work outside of therapy.
Correct. What is your advice for couples who have created goals for the new year and
Mm-hmm.
they just feel a little bit overwhelmed to complete them? Like, we're in day 16, and let's say a couple is just like, we said in the new year we would do this, that, and the third, but today's like day 16. What is your advice to them on like not feeling overwhelmed about completing goals?
Yeah, and they haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
I want to answer that, but I'm cracking up. Why would AF know sense? I always look in the mirror and say, "This is right now, not forever." In her cardigan. That's a good. That's a
My
good
best
one.
that all the time. When we have moments, if you have a moment or I have a moment, I'll be like, girl, I'm just telling myself, like, this is a moment. Like, this is not going to last forever. Or
Right.
I tell her the same thing, like, listen, I know this is tough, but this is a moment. Like,
Mm-hmm.
think about all the stuff we've been through or the things that we thought felt like just the worst things ever. And they were just blips in time
Mm-hmm.
compared to now.
Mm-hmm. Like everything is really temporary, the bad, but also the good, right? And I think we live on this hope and this almost like this expectation that we don't experience bad. And I think it does set us up for extreme suffering, like more than there needs to be if we could move into this practice of acceptance. And that's a lot of what I like to work with mindfulness too. And so you ask the question about what if we set these goals and we haven't met that yet, right?
Yeah.
Acceptance that it's okay. Like if we just move from this idea that this is a marathon, not a sprint. And sometimes you do have to take stock and take consideration of different factors that have made it so that you're not where you said you were going to be. So maybe you made a goal and you didn't necessarily take into account all the things that might get in the way, right? Us thinking about us just only doing things from this one lens of positivity and greatness and not maybe being realistic.
Yeah.
And so, I would challenge you, if you haven't met the goal yet, to go back and, like I said, consider what has come up. And maybe you need to make smaller goals to get to where you need to be, but you're not trying to do everything at once, right? So I don't know what the this, and that is, but I'm quite sure it could be broken up into smaller pieces.
Yeah. What is your advice for navigating family that does not like your spouse? And this ain't
you need to look at what your family is saying, because I believe two things, right? I believe that your family, if they have a history of wanting the best for you, then you do need to look at what they're saying, and you need to look at, is there truth to what they're saying? And is this truth, let's say the answer is yes, there's truth to what they're saying. Is this truth something that I'm okay with dealing with? Am I embarrassed by it? Because if I'm embarrassed by this truth, then I need to talk to my partner and we need to have some real serious conversations. And if my partner is not admitting to things and they don't want to change things, then I have to change me. And that might be really difficult, but the only way for you to change people's behavior towards you is for you to change yourself. You can literally only focus on yourself. So I would suggest that you start looking inward at things that you need to do differently. On the flip side, if your family doesn't have a history of, supporting you, knowing what's good for you, maybe they're haters. Not everybody that's close to you wants to see the best for you. And sometimes they smile in your face, but they don't have good intentions for you, right?
Yeah.
And so if that is the case, you still take stock. You still take stock of what they're saying, because sometimes people can't wait to tell you the thing that is poor because they've been watching and waiting for your downfall, right? So you still take stock of what they're saying. But if it's absolutely not true, then you and your partner, you have to do the work to make sure that your fence around you is tight. If you think of your relationship as a house, right? There are certain spaces and places where you let everyone in, right? So maybe you let people into your living room, but you don't let people into your bedroom. So that means you need to start keeping some of your business private, right? Not everybody needs to know what's going on. And if your business is not private enough, like you're physically around your family members a little bit too long, then you need to start distancing yourself in space or even on phone calls, right? Your partner doesn't have to be all in your family space. That's really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's not your partner that you're setting the boundary with. Then on the flip side would be your family members.
Got it. What is your advice for people in relationship who are reaching that 7-year itch? Before you answer that, I was just texting one of my girlfriends the other day, and I was like, this is so random, but I was like, you know what? This is the first year, I would say the first year that I actually like Justin, like the whole 365 days. And I just mentioned, like, I see what people say when they say, like, you go through ups and downs, and not that I never liked him, but like we have finally got each other. Like, I understand the things that tick him and how I can pull back from the ticking. Like, for example, if he drops something on the floor and he doesn't pick it up, like, I need to say it once and leave it alone. Don't drag it.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm just in the first year that we've actually I feel like we the dust has settled. Like, we kind of like know each other. We kind of just know. It's like we finally made it to this point. Like, you hear old folks and their husbands are doing whatever. And she's like, girl, baby, just ignore. I've been ignoring him for 20 years. And you're like, but how can you ignore that? Like, I've reached that phase. Like, I love him. I know he mean well, so I'm not even paying him no mind. But now my fear comes, right? It's like, I want this feeling to last. And that's not realistic all the time. Like, we're humans. He's gonna grow, I'm gonna grow. One day he's gonna be in a bad mood, he's gonna tick me off. Opposite, when I'm gonna be in a bad mood, I'm gonna tick him off. Or we got 2 kids. Kids are the issue. Kids are the issue.
They really do bring a whole other element.
Correct. So, what about when we get to that 7-year? How do you advise couples who get to that 7 year? Because I keep hearing like year 7 is when you're like, do we really want to be here?
But you know what's crazy? It's not year 7. Like, that's what people. That's what
I had it in year 4. I remember you advised me on that.
It's not year 7. It takes us 4 years to literally take those rose-colored glasses off.
Yeah.
And then honeymoon stage is 4 years. Wow. So we are lovey-dovey and everything is good and everything is great. And then something about year 4 is like, hold up, you don't even wash up all the time. Like, you don't even take showers for real.
Honeymoon phase is months, honey, because you ain't going next year.
Yeah, like, I think there's a completely different truth that comes out right after year 4. And so by year 7, I think that's 3 years of you actually seeing things and coming up with your own scenarios and truths of why your partner does something.
Yeah.
And so if that's happening to you by year 7, if you're really like, oh, I can't take this person, I would advise you guys to go to the beginning, like sit down together, talk about things that used to happen in the beginning that you truly, truly did like, that you still think you like, because we also, our needs and our desires change. And so, talk about the things that you still think that you like, and be truthful about the things that you don't like, and talk about what your partner can do for you to assist you. Okay. Now, that's not just a one-time conversation, because these conversations are compromises. And in compromises, not both of you are going to get what you want. But the important thing in year 7, or when you really start to feel like I'm fed up, is to think about what made me attracted to this person in the first place, and what did we used to do to bring out, the connection that we had. I really recommend for couples to go to therapy by year 4. When it first starts to hit, like, don't wait, because a lot of times therapy is not working because you waited to year 7 when you feel like you're at your wit's end and there's nothing else that you want to do.
Correct.
But so really, when those things start showing up, just come see us. It's okay. Just come.
Why would my friends say I ignore my husband so much? Sometimes I'd be like, what's that sound? Forgetting
he's here. But that's lovely, because that's teamwork, truthfully, right? Like, if you guys can coexist in the same space, and I'm sure it took a bunch of arguments to get there too, right? Like, just being like, yeah, pick the sock up, or like, why are you in the kitchen when I'm in the kitchen?
Yeah.
I'm in the kitchen. You're in the kitchen.
Yeah. You also said boundaries was a big thing with my family. It's so much better now.
Oh, that was the convo about the couples.
Yeah, I've implemented hard stops with my family. 2 hours, and I'm either leaving or hanging up. No exceptions.
Oh, at the
I
family.
think
I
in
love that
around
for you.
people. How do you navigate people who are having issues within their immediate family, siblings, or parent and child? Like, what is your advice to fix those things, or
Yeah.
how do they approach those things?
So, with family, that's an ongoing battle, because if you think about however old you are, like, you have that many years invested in your family treating you that way.
Yeah.
Vice versa, right? And so, you have to start to talk about things and say what you don't like, but then your actions really have to follow. So if you're saying, "Oh, I
I'm
don't,"
at you, I'm beat. But I'm here. Keep going. Sorry.
no, it's cool. If you're saying, "Oh, I don't like this thing," right? Or, "Can you change this thing?" And they're not stopping because, they're used to doing you the same way, and they're like, "Oh, girl, oh boy, whatever," right? Then you actually have to be the one to start changing. And I like to work with people when we're setting boundaries, to work on that stressfulness and that guiltiness that comes up when you're changing, because all relationships are like a dance. And imagine you going to dance practice. Let's say you're 30. You've been going to dance practice for 30 years, doing the same two steps. Somebody wants to start doing something completely different that you didn't practice.
Yeah.
Your family members go harder. Like, when you don't do whatever is in step, they go harder. So you have to really put up boundaries and be consistent. And sometimes that's hard. So that might mean you have to create the distance so that you can stand strong, like stand on business.
Yeah. And do you recommend that even for, I mean, friendships? They're all relationships would fall under that category, correct?
Yeah, all friendships, partnerships, like romantic relationships, family. AF knows that you have to stay and do. I literally set a 45-minute timer on a school night. Gotta go home to my man. I know that's right. So when that timer goes off, everybody knows. But that's what happens with consistency too, right? So that's why it's important to stand on business, because after a while, people start to get it. It's just about reconditioning people, to change,
Yeah.
which is uncomfortable. Which I think that was a question that you had before.
Yeah. Tonight, I thought about it last week, and we were talking about like word of the year and just checking in on friends. Because
Mm-hmm.
I think after the first episode this year, like, you called me after live to check in with me,
Mm-hmm.
so everyone knows that I am, the strong friend, quote
Mm-hmm.
unquote. I'm falling apart these days, so baby, she ain't that strong.
Mm-hmm.
But
I mean, we're not robots.
we're not robots, correct. And the first thing you said was like, "Hey, I'm just checking in on you, because you said some words. I just wanted to make sure, like, I said I was feeling blah, and I was feeling this, and I was feeling that, and I did just have a baby, so
Mm-hmm.
Cornell was just checking in. So that triggered me to just want to check in on everybody on Instagram, because we all speak, and sometimes we can be surface, or sometimes we don't want to be bothered. Like, I have been not wanting to say I'm overwhelmed, because I think a lot of my friends are solution based, which I love. And I'm so overwhelmed that a solution seems overwhelming. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's too much. It's like
Like,
another thing. It's another thing that I have to do,
another
that I gotta
thing.
respond to.
Like, you're probably right, but bro, I gotta get to that. Like, I'm looking at 12 sheets of paper right now that I have for 2 weeks for Maverick's daycare.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just can't do another thing. Like, I had the baby, just take him. Like, I gotta fill out paperwork. Like, why? I told y'all his name. I told y'all what he eat. Like, leave me alone. And
Figure it
then,
out. Figure it out. Figure it out. You don't talk yet, but
like,
figure it out.
so now, correct. So now I'm just like, yesterday I said I'm gonna do it, and then I sat on the table. I said, you know what, Justin, you're also his parent. Like, you do have the papers, I do have the papers. So I felt like I was moving in a better direction.
Mm-hmm.
I just
Mm-hmm.
thought more things, but anyway, guys, the point of tonight is that I want you guys to get some free therapy. We can be on for another 3 minutes. Please send your questions in the box. Now, is there anything that you've learned from your clients, that you want to share with us, like whether people are in relationships or singles? How can
Mm-hmm.
singles navigate? How do singles deal with their feelings during the holidays of seeing their friends with their family, or even Valentine's Day is coming up, another triggering holiday? Like, what is your advice for them?
Yeah. So I like to work with people from day one to really build us up. Well, after I figure out, like how they feel about
Sorry.
themselves, we gotta build you up. Like, you need reinforcements. I'm gonna get into the comments, but you need reinforcements, especially around the holidays. Moments in time where you know that you're more susceptible to feeling a way. You're looking on Instagram. Maybe you have to stay off of IG and TikTok for a bit, right? Because it's about to be a whole bunch of pajamas and matching t-shirts and all these things.
Yeah.
Maybe that's not your time of year that you want to be looking, or you look at what's going on and you use that as information if you're single, and then you stop doing foolishness like going out with people that you don't like or accepting nonsense from people. If you really want a relationship, then you start to really get those boundaries together. So, like I said, we don't shy on my side. We don't shy away from feelings because they give us information.
Yeah. Listen, 100%. I say too many feelings, and you and I are more like reserved. Like me and Marina are like the complainers. And they are more reserved.
Yeah. I think, a lot of I'm on sessions all day, right? So like a lot of
feelings for the day.
Right. It's so right. And then when I'm getting off and I'm seeing voice notes, my mind is like, what the F? Right. And so I'm the person that sits in silence, or I'm dancing, right? I'm dancing in between the things because I just need time to think. I need time to process. I need time to just come down from feeling other people's things. So, but I also always want to know how people are doing. So it's like catch-22. But yeah, I forgot where I was going because there's a bunch of things in my head. Somebody said cheat code. Oh, wait, somebody said cheat code, put Justin's number down instead of yours for the daycare. That's thinking right there. That's thinking right there.
I grew up on the same block as a daycare lady, so she's gonna hit me up first. She's just naturally like Justin will be like the second, like, okay, your wife didn't answer, like, so where are you?
Well, stop answering.
Now when my kids there, I need to know what's happening.
You see how you did that? Now, if they have, but does she have cameras or no?
No. It's like she has cameras so she can see the street, but not so I can see what's happening.
No, I got it.
I would be watching it all day and I would get nothing done. So I need to not see him. So does anybody here go Marina, we're a chatty bunch. So guys, does anybody have questions for Cornell before we head out? Also, I wanted to ask you guys, money is always top of line for stress, right? Like for us, for middle class people, money, because everything is going up. How has congestion pricing?
No.
How is that with your mental? Like I need to know what's going on in every aspect. Like, do you guys have another dollar to spend?
So are you even going outside as much, right? Or are you going outside as much in your neighborhood, or is that
Queens up and down? Like, it's congestion pricing. I'm about to Corona, like learning all of the Mexican restaurants and not going to Manhattan.
Lucky you. If you're in the Bronx or in the city, you just don't go down past 60th Street and you're good. You can still go in
the Bronx more often.
That's not a thing. Like I don't really deal with the Bronx.
You have a car
his car is in the lot. Beautiful. So he's basically pretending like he has no car.
You're gone too far. You're gone too far.
He said he doesn't go outside, and we're not getting on a train. So now it gives like just stick your head out the window for the air that we've been talking about. Like you need to that you can
Where are you safe? Where are you safe right now? The world is crazy. We also have a new president coming in 4 days. So
MLK Day.
You guys feel
so crazy.
Ruin my. I cannot sleep on the train. Have PTSD, and I have to leave late to get a seat. It's ridiculous. I used to sleep on the train, going and coming 1 hour and 1 hour. I mean, sleep, like deep sleep. People can't do that anymore. I can't ride the train because that rocking is too soothing for me.
But not just that, right? There's a lot of crazy people on the train. So that's actually been a lot of the conversation that I've been having since you're talking about congestion pricing. Yeah. It's been like, damn, but I'm worried to ride the train because it's going to be packed on the train. And so, staying alert is key. Standing by that conductor. I don't know if you guys seen the video that's going around. If you stand by the black and white bar, that's where the conductor is. So stand by the black and white.
Oh, yeah. I used to always stand because that's where the steps to get out of my exit
Oh,
on, like, to get on my bus.
you're lucky. Yeah, no, but if you feel safer by the conductor, that's one of the tips.
He ain't gonna save you, but anyway, guys, tonight was fun. Quinell, thank you so much for joining us. Before I get up, I just want to let you guys know, please check on your strong friends, check on your weak friends, check on your family. Everyone's fighting silent battles that you don't know. And the people who are fighting these silent battles, like, speak up to somebody who may have some words of encouragement for you. Or I want us to go into 2025, or not even 2025. I want us to go into tomorrow, the day after that, the month after that, feeling good. Just because it's a new year, like Quinell said before, it doesn't mean that anything changed. Because I'm still carrying the same debt from last year. I saw this joke on Instagram and it said, my bank account is at $0. I'm starting the new year off or a clean slate. And I was like, baby, I felt that to my core. Please check on your strong friends. If you're looking for a therapist and you are open to paying out of pocket, please connect with Quinell. Quinell is always accepting clients, and she only mess with that green, that cash, baby. Don't pull up with no scammer cards unless that got a debit or credit.
Serious. And we got an intern now, so y'all can have low cost. I try to think about the people.
So, do you do sliding scale for your rates or just a fixed rate? Ooh,
I try. I think.
Okay, let me go falsify my proof of income, honey. That's how Quinell is an entrepreneur. Don't be trying to falsify nothing. Pulling up your job, we asking for references. Quinell, you want to say anything to the people before we head out for the night?
Yeah, I want you to know that, progress is progress, and not every day you have to be moving towards these goals, right? If you have a month and you have done things that contribute to your goals one day out that month, that's still progress. And, let's not beat up on ourselves. We are ever evolving. You are welcome, Burley.
Mm-hmm. Are you on Rula? I don't know what Rula is. No. Are you on Rula?
No, I'm not on Rula.
She's too expensive for Rula, honey. Get it together. I don't know what Rula is.
I'm not on.
Anyway, everybody, I have to pump. So good night, and we'll talk again in 2 weeks. Thank you so much, Quinell.
Welcome. Bye, guys.
Bye.